Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Chioma Nwosu, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a very simple baby frock, just a very simple one. Okay, so this is the fabric I'm using, and this is the wrong side of my fabric that you're looking at right now. So this is the wrong side of my fabric. The length of this fabric is actually my desired length, which is 27 inches, and I added one to make it 28 inches for hemming. And then the width, is actually the bust or the chest measurement of the child. Actually the chest measurement of the child. The chest measurement for this particular child is 24 inches. Okay, so 24 inches is the chest measurement for this particular child, and I have added about 8 inches extra to the 24 inches, on each side. Okay, so because I've divided 24 inches by 2 already, so when I divide 24 by 2 I get 12 inches, and then I added some 8 inches extra for the seam allowance and every other thing. So now I'm going to be cutting out the back, and then I'm going to cut out the front. But because of the style, the front needs to have a little extra. So the front has to be more than the back. I'm going to be leaving 3 inches because of the pleats that I'm going to be putting in front of this particular dress. So I'm leaving 3 inches out. So I'm just going to separate. I'm going to separate it. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to work on this particular side. Okay, so I'm going to fold into 2 like so. I'm going to fold into 2. Then I'm going to go ahead to impute my measurement. So the shoulder measurement of this particular child is the shoulder measurement is 12 inches, and because I'm working on a fold, divided it by 2, so we're going to be using 6 inches for the shoulder. I didn't add any allowance because this is actually a sleeveless dress. It doesn't have a sleeve, so I'm going to be using 2.5 inch for the neckline. So the neckline, it depends on you. You can use 2.5 inches, or you can even use more depending on what you want. Okay, so I'm going to come down 1/2 inch for the shoulder slope, just about 1/2 inch for the shoulder slope. So I'm going to connect this neckline to shoulder like so. Then I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down here for the armhole. So I'm coming down for the armhole by about 5 inches. So you can take the armhole measurement if you're not sure about the armhole. You can take the armhole measurement and divide it by 2. Okay, so I came down here by 5 inches. Next thing, I'm going to impute the chest measurement, which already I told you was 24 inches, and now we're working on a fold. This is the front, so I've divided that 24 by 4, and then I got 6 inches. So this is 6 inches here. This is 6 inches here. I'm going to be adding 1 inch extra to make it 7. So that is 7 here. Okay, so from here, this particular side, I'm just going to connect it like so down. To the hem. So I just connected it to the hem. Okay, so you can actually add more allowance if you want. So you can add more allowance depending on how loose or how tight you want your dress to be. So this is 1 inch allowance that I've added. You can add extra 1 inch allowance for your seam allowance. Okay, so if you add extra 1 inch, I'm just going to connect it like so. Okay, I hope my line is not faint. Okay, so here I'm going to come up by 1 inch, and then I'm going to give it a curve I'm going to give it a curve. I'm going to go in here. You can just divide this by 2. So this is 5. 2.5 is actually the midpoint. So you can go in by about half an inch. You can go in about half an inch. Okay, so you can connect it like this to the shoulder. Okay, so to the shoulder, and connect it down to the cuff. This is actually a sleeveless dress, so it just actually depends on you. This is actually going to be fine, but if you want your dress to go in more than this, from the shoulder, which is 6 inches, you can take out 1 inch. The normal shoulder is 6 inches, and I measured, which is 12 inches for the shoulder, and when you divide by 2, you got 6 inches. If you're attaching a sleeve to this dress, it's okay, you leave it at 6 inches, but if it's a sleeveless dress like I'm making, you can reduce it by 1 inch, and now you will have 5 inches here. Okay, so I am just doing the both so that you can see and understand. So if you actually reduce this, you see you have 5 inches there, then you will give it a slight curve. If you have a curved ruler, it's better to use a curved ruler so you can avoid making any mistakes. Okay, so you can use a curved ruler. Okay, so now for the neckline, I'm going to come in and come down from here by about 3.5 inches. So it's the neckline actually depends on you as well, and I'm going to use my ruler to make sure I have a nice curve. So for a kid, you don't really need to make the neckline to be too low. If you make the neckline to be too low, it's not going to come out very, very well. Okay, so at the hem here, I'm going to come up at the hem by about 1.5 inch or 2 inches depending on you, and then you just curve it like so. Okay, so you just give it a slight curve. You can use a curve ruler if you want to achieve your curve, or you can just slightly curve that. Okay, so this is actually, you know, how it looks, and this is actually going to be for the front. This particular neckline that I have cut out here is going to be for the front neckline. So for the back neckline, you can just come down by 1 inch. Okay, so you can come down by 1 inch for the back neckline, and you connect it. Like that. And for the back armhole, you can come out a little bit more than the front armhole. Okay, so this particular one that I'm cutting out right now, it's actually, I actually left, this is the front, and I actually left this one for the back, but I'm just, you know, showing you how you can achieve both the front and the back at the same time. I'm going to cut out the back. I'm going to start from here. So you can see how it's looking already. So I'm going to now from here divide this part. I'm going to divide this part, and I'm just going to come down a little bit where the armhole is. So I'm going to use about 7 inches for this. By the time I'm done stitching, it's going to give us about 6.5 inches. So I'm going to mark here Remember I added 1 inch for allowance. I added 1 inch, and the 1 inch I added is because of the joining and every other thing that we're going to be doing on this particular dress. So I'm going to cut this open. Okay, and this is going to be connected to this at the end of everything. So for the other side, which is the front, what I've just folded this remaining side into 2 already, and then I'm going to place this here, though I've secured it with a pin already. So I'm going to place this here, use another pin to secure it. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out, separate this from this, and then I'm going to cut it out. So first of all, I'm cutting exactly the same thing here. Okay, so now I'm going to separate this. Okay, so this is going to be the back, and then I'm going to now cut out the front part. Okay, so I'm going to go in the armhole a little more. Okay, so this is what I have here. So for the back, I'm just going to give it a small cut here because I'm going to be putting a loop for my button. So I'm going to be putting a loop for my button here. This is what it looks like. Okay, so this is what the back looks like, and this is what the front looks like. You can see the front and the back. This is going to be like this. Okay, so for this particular side, I'm going to place this here. Okay, I'm going to shift it to the edge. I'm going to shift it to the edge. So my pins are not so sharp. Okay, so I'm now going to trim whatever excess. You know, we gave this a curve. Okay, so I have to make it the same, the front and the back. Well, you know, I have extra here. I'm going to give the middle a notch at the front. I'm also going to give the middle here a notch. Okay, so for this particular one, this is the back. You can see I'm going to join this to this. It's just a simple A line. So this is going to be joined to this, while for this particular one, the front, I'm going to join this to this, and we're going to be having a key split here in front. Okay, so we're going to have it. That's why I had the extra. So this is, we're going to have a key split in front like this. So just going to have this. You can, it's about I'm sorry, my pins are having issues. Okay, so this is going to go this way. This is going to go this way. Are you seeing the way it is? Okay, so I've actually cut out some fabric strip. This is about 3.5 inches, or you can use 3 inch for some ruffles that I want to have on this dress. And I'm actually going to cut out lining for this particular dress. I'm going to show you guys how I achieve the sewing how I'm going to join this particular dress, how I end up joining it. But I'm going to be using lining for this, and I'm going to show you guys how I also get to place the ruffles that I cut out. So for the ruffle, I'm going to stitch the both edges together, then I'm going to do a running stitch and do some gathers on this particular fabric strip, and that's going to give us the ruffles that we need. So I'll go ahead and do it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so I have gone ahead to do the stitching, and then I've turned the dress with lining, and this is how it's looking. So you can see the back. I've actually put a button loop here, so you can see, and this is the key split that we did in the middle. The key split is just here in the middle. After I iron it properly, you'll see how it's looking. So this is how it's looking, and also the armhole, I turned it with lining. This is the back. Can you see how it's looking? Okay, so here you can actually use a zigzag stitch or use bias binding to finish this particular side, and this is how it's looking. The lining I cut is the same size and the same length as the material that we used already, so it's the same thing. I cut it the same with the fabric. Okay, so this is the outcome. I'm going to go ahead to close the side, but before I do that, I'm going to actually attach this to this particular joining that we did here. This is actually the strip that I cut out, so I went ahead to do a rolled hem on both sides, and I now went ahead to run a base stitch and I gathered it. So I just did it the normal way you do gathers, and this is how it is looking. So I'm just going to go ahead right now to run a stitch across like so. I'm going to go ahead and run a stitch, and then I'm going to close the side, and I'll show you guys what it actually looks like. Okay, so thank you for watching this particular video. I hope you actually enjoyed it. If you did, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it, and also leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe as well. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.